Hello, my name is Dasha, and today we're going to learn some useful phrases to use when you want someone to repeat themselves. So a lot of times English learners, when they meet native speakers, it can get a little intense and a little overwhelming because most of the time native speakers speak quite fast.
Well, when I was 12 years old growing up on Long Island, there was a cerebral palsy fair a few blocks away from my house, and they announced.
So here are some phrases that you can use in different situations depending on your relationship with a person to have them repeat themselves. How to sound formal, how to sound polite, so you don't annoy them by asking them to repeat themselves too much. So in more formal situations, you would use phrases like this. So the key thing about formal English is the longer the phrases, the more formal they are, generally. So the one that you might hear the most, and this is actually a pretty short one, but it's still used very commonly, especially by British people and Canadians, because people like to be very polite and apologize a lot. So the main one is sorry.
Sorry?
Which is pretty much the shortened version of I'm sorry.
I'm sorry?
So you could use either one of these interchangeably, it doesn't really matter. It still sounds formal. And you're not really apologizing, you're more like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
I heard that. I wish I didn't hear that, but I just heard that.
If you can't remember any of the longer sentences here, you could always just go for one of these. So the next one is, I think most of you already know, but excuse me and pardon me. Pardon me is even more formal.
Pardon me?
And sometimes you can also shorten it to just pardon.
Pardon?
Excuse me, obviously, apart from, walking past someone, you could also use it like, excuse me, could you repeat that?
Excuse me?
So now here we have the phrases specifically. You could pair these sentences with one of these phrases. So, pardon me, could you repeat that, please? You could say that together, or you could just say it by itself.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Feel free to use any of these in very formal situations. You can use it with your teacher, you could use it at work. Very useful, very formal, very polite.
How useful.
For more informal situations or phrases to use with friends, because obviously you could use, oh, could you repeat that? Or any of the sentences that were in the previous part. However, with some friends, it might sound a little too weird.
You sound weird.
Or too like, oh, you're really formal today. So here are some easier phrases, much more comfortable phrases to use. So the first one is it's very similar to to one of them in the previous one, but it's shortened. It's basically you drop the I and you could just say, oh, didn't catch that.
Didn't catch that.
Or I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
Which is pretty much the same thing. You didn't hear them, you didn't understand what they said, so you want them to repeat it. Then you could also say, what was that? Or sorry, what? Or just what?
Oh, what?
The key thing is you have to, with these phrases, you have to be careful with how you phrase it. The tone is very important. Because a lot of times, what can be said like, what? Which means you're annoyed. Or you could be like, what? Which basically means, can you please repeat that? I didn't hear it. I didn't catch that.
I didn't quite catch that last. Whew.
And again, sorry what, it just makes it a little bit more, not formal, but more polite. So you can still be polite with your friends.
Sorry. What?
And then the other one is kind of like an idiom that is used a lot, and you might hear this in your favorite TV show or movie, and it's called come again.
Come again.
And this doesn't mean like they left and you want them to come again. It means like, can you please repeat that? Come again? You'll hear this one a lot, and most of the time we use it without even thinking. So if you really want to sound fluent, go ahead and use that with your friends.